Hello and welcome to Hot Indonesia, where talk is a four-letter word. I'm Dalton Taranaka in Jakarta. Here is this week's HI Hot List. House of Cards, why standards and safety remain problems in the construction industry. Unicorn Dreams, the reasons behind Indonesia's fertile startup environment. And International Voice, the latest singer to win global attention. Let me now introduce my co-host, Sandrina Malakiano, former TV news anchor and political marketing consultant and fashion trendsetter.
Whoa,
And
wow, that's new.
Santiago Uno, former vice governor of Jakarta, recent vice presidential candidate and fashion trendsetter.
Thank you.
Equal play, yeah, you are. All right, hot topic number one. House of Cards on November 5th in Pasuruan in East Java. Classes had begun in a state elementary school and the roof collapsed. A teacher and a student were killed, 14 others hurt. What's causing a lot of concern is that the building only went up 2 years ago. The police chief there said, quote, "Our suspicion is that the construction of the roof was not up to standard." Now, this is an ongoing serious problem. Accidents occur far too often. Now, I know it's two different issues, standards and safety, but they are critically related to each other. One affects the other.
Definitely.
Right, and because the constructions is being done by the government departments for educations, they're under this 1 year cycle whereby the budget and executions is within the 1 year cycle. So they're typically in a rush. Some of the construction companies are being chased by the targets of completions, or otherwise they could not withdraw some of the construction payment, and therefore they forget the standards and don't put it safety as being the first.
I don't think forget is the right word.
And
they ignore.
They ignore. And you see in some of the larger construction developments here in Jakarta too, because some of the standards you need to only. I think the limit to work is 8 hours. Sometimes you work longer.
24.
Oh, come on. You see them working around the clock.
Yeah, and
they want to finish the
it's
project.
really bad. And this safety should be the culture.
For example, what Sandy said is that they rush things. We know the Tol Cipularang
Yes.
that connects Jakarta to Bandung, it was built in less than 1 year.
Makes you
For
wonder how long it
41
will last.
kilometers, that height.
Yeah.
So there were problems that occurred afterwards.
Well, last year, a Jakarta official said that, and this is a quote, 80% of all construction projects in the capital are unsafe.
That's right.
That is astounding.
Yeah, and you look at the focus on infrastructures. You are building. Construction is still number 3 after industry. Trade is constructions in terms of contributions to the GDP, and still it's also the largest, one of the largest sectors that create jobs for the people. But you need to have the standard, and the government not only put up the regulations but the supervisions. A special task force, because when you try to build infrastructures as a priority and you're being given deadlines, companies must make sure that it's ingrained culturally that safety is non-negotiable.
Let's talk about the numbers of work-related accidents. Here we have the data from the Indonesian National Health Insurance, BPJS. Last year, 175,000 of work-related accidents. The year before, 2017, 123,000. So an increase of 40%, which means more than 450 accidents per day. That's horrifying. Yeah. It's crazy. And the biggest numbers come from factories, accidents in factories, and the second in infrastructure.
Construction projects.
Projects.
There are industry regulations, of course, in place on standards and worker safety, but the problem is always enforcement.
I think enforcement, supervisions, and we gotta make sure that those standards are being adhered, and this is why we think we need to look back and create some kind of a task force, because we are building infrastructures even as another priority for the next 5 years by the government. We don't want this to be burial grounds for workers, because Industrial Revolutions 4.0, some of the sectors that is still growing and create jobs would be the construction side. and you want to make sure that you have the world-class standard for your workers.
So one information, an additional information for you, I'm a civil engineer. So,
Another
That's
facet we didn't know about
Another
that.
one.
so I've been in that field and I've seen it just right in front of my eyes that when it comes to construction, if something goes wrong, usually it's construction failure and also budget efficiency.
And plus the leakage of money sometimes.
Right.
What's
talk
really
about
bad
that.
if it's under the supervision of the government, if it's a government project, then that's really, we really need law enforcement.
Yeah, it's sad. You see elementary schools are... So in my opinion, we need to look back at this cycle of 1 year in terms of planning and executions, because if it needs 18 months, so be it, you know. Then you do it under an expanded...
But some projects can be done on time and on budget and
Yeah.
under standards, right?
Right.
It's just not, we can't, and there are good projects. I mean, most, I would say at least half, maybe, buildings are going up safely. You
Yes.
have the proper oversight. But you know, you can go to any construction site. You see it, and I hate to say it, but you see workers in bare feet or
Yeah.
slippers, no
Sometimes
helmets.
they just say no
and
because
it
I'm
scares
used to
you.
it. I don't need to wear any harness because I do it on a daily basis.
They have
No.
to.
But one day
It's
they might
culture.
slip.
Yeah.
But like, I want to ask Sandy, you were in the government.
Right.
And you have this budget, yearly
Right.
budget, because very often, most of the time, we see that when we're coming close to the end of the year,
Oh,
then
you gotta
they
spike.
they start digging up all the roads and they make
Yeah,
construction
you got to spend it or
projects.
lose it, right?
Because they say you have to finish the budget. If not,
Right.
then you will get less the upcoming year.
The next year, yeah.
The next year. So you have to finish it, you create a project or something there. Then to have a reason to do so, then the quality, they make the quality really low because
Yes.
they need to repair something.
Oh, man.
Right.
Is it real?
The problem is this hockey stick absorption of budget, whereby they wait until the end where money is there and probably less supervisions and start awarding contract after August. So during my time, I said that no more. I don't want to see this hockey stick. I want to see a very well planned, executed curve of absorption of your budget from January onward. So it's not going to be only picking up towards the end, like what Sandrina said. So it's a culture, it's a mindset, mentality, and therefore I think people have to change.
Sure, and again, the point we started with, the school collapse. I mean, another example, woman is killed when an iron bar fell on her head from an apartment project. The public is affected, not just the workers.
So the
And that's
public needs
both
to
sides.
also be well educated because they need to know they have rights.
Yeah, walk around a construction
No,
site.
no, not that. If something happens, something goes wrong, they have the right to sue. Make a class action or demand
Yeah.
their right for safety.
Okay, but first
Yeah.
let's enforce the laws and then work on the other end. The
I
litigious.
agree, but
Yeah.
still after that, then because
Sure.
if not, then
Otherwise, there's no punishment. Yeah.
But it's a wake-up
True.
call, and it has to be, I guess, a comprehensive approach whereby not only government, but also the society, the private sectors, all the construction
It's a really
associations
important
needs to
issue.
get involved.
Yeah, especially when you're investing in this country. Okay,
Right.
Hot Indo will continue shortly. Unicorn Dreams, why Indonesia is fertile ground for startups. You're watching Hot Indonesia with Sandrina, Sandy, and me. Here's hot topic number 2, unicorn dreams. A unicorn is a mythical animal with a spiraled horn on its head, usually pink. You know, our kids love it. In the world of finance, though, it's the ultimate entrepreneurial success, a privately held startup company valued at more than $1 billion. And a recent report by the Hurun Research Institute in Shanghai listed the world's 494 unicorns in 24 countries. China, no surprise, topped the list with 206 unicorns. Guess who number 8 on the list was, tied with France and Brazil? Indonesia with
Indonesia.
4. But I think the update is that now Indonesia has 5,
The
right?
fifth
Because
one.
OVO just took over, became a unicorn. So now Indonesia's in 7th place. Pretty impressive. How do we do it?
we have a very huge market. It's a very big potential. I mean,
A
like,
lot of big countries, but they don't have as many as us.
but now, I mean, you have netizens or citizens who access the internet or use gadgets, especially smartphones. Can I share with you some survey results from the previous election
I
in
was waiting
2019
for it,
from
yeah.
Polmark, Indonesia? We did 73 surveys in 73 constituencies throughout Indonesia, covering 90% of the entire voters of Indonesia in the 2019 election. From the results, we got that 1/3 of the Indonesian population uses smartphones, 1/3 uses or access the internet daily or almost every day. 1/4 or a quarter of the Indonesian people uses WhatsApp, 20% active on Facebook, 15% access YouTube, and 10% active uses Instagram. So can you imagine, like, you can sell anything now and it's very easy.
So the point is that all the 5 unicorns are pretty much internet-based operations. They're not making things. They're online transactions, right? And the fact that there are 100 million smartphones out there in this country, which is nearly half, or more than it, or nearly half. Yeah.
I think we have to give credit where the credit is due. Is the young generations of entrepreneurs. They see opportunities. Okay, we have a big market. We have smartphone penetrations. The infrastructure is built. But I'm sorry, there are other things that stakeholders, including government, have not been able to provide. For instance, mobility, like public transport. Then you have a transportation's unicorn.
Gojek.
It starts as a mobility. Nadim and friends make it like a super apps. Access to marketplace. It's very hard if you're an SMEs to have access to get a space in.
We have a lot of malls.
We have a lot of malls, but it's
malls,
dominated by big brands, not for SMEs. Boom, Bukalapak and Tokopedia. It's the inefficiency of the travel agency that makes Traveloka such a very innovative idea. So in my opinion, I think it's a lot of combinations, and job creations is one of the things that this unicorns are addressing, because they are also job creators. So I'm really, I think, give credit where credit is due, is to the young generations of Indonesians.
They are very innovative, these young entrepreneurs.
But let's be clear, without heavy investment by global funds, I mean, they got funded, huge amount of money. The Indonesian startups will still be pretty small. Can a small company ever achieve this kind of success on its own, do you think?
Yeah, of course. Like, I have an article here about somebody who used to work in a bank, and now he is selling fashion items online. He just was chosen. He's now in the Forbes 30 under 30. So that's amazing.
Okay. It may not be a unicorn, but
not a unicorn.
It may be.
He just started, but he's doing really well. But he said, okay, you need guts to do it, because like when he was working in an international bank, the first 4 months he almost got fired, but he learned a lot about wealth management, about company management, financing, and then he was asked by a friend to join and setting up this company, and then he has this way of thinking of seeing prospect and said, okay, why not? Then he tried. So first he said, here, you have to be really brave to try something different. And then you have to learn. And then you have to want to start from below if you want to do that. And then you have to innovate and have a strategy. Of course, this is basic. But if you do that, then it has been improved. I mean, I'm sure like you with the Oche and everything, you've seen how people grow from small.
And thanks to technology, thanks to digital, we also have an entrepreneurial culture here in Indonesia.
Everything came together, maybe the perfect
there's a
storm,
can-do attitude. And the market is big, it's a middle income is growing. And then you have areas that we don't have solutions. So this young entrepreneurs see, boop, light bulb moment. They prepare to take the risk, they're proactive, they're innovative, and they provide the solutions. And then suddenly you have 5 unicorns and many more to come.
There's supply and demand in a technology world. Yeah. Who are the next unicorns? Let's throw out a couple, maybe sectors.
I think Ruang Guru is well placed in the field of education.
I think Nadim will, of course, take part in
Ruang Guru.
developing
that does
Ruang
what?
Guru.
That gives basically assistance to students.
Like
35 million students now, tutoring. There will be, I guess, a challenge from the healthcare sector. Halodoc, for instance, providing healthcare to the masses.
But that's scary to get your medical advice from online.
Well, people are getting it now.
Yeah.
And I think
you kind of want to see it.
Not for serious problems, maybe. But to add to what Sandy has just said, we are a democratic country and we have an open economic system. So
It's wide open.
yeah, it's a good field for like startup businesses to flourish.
Yeah. And
So you mentioned about this big investors coming in to put money into our digital economy. Yes, that's possible because the prospect is large.
sure, they wouldn't do it if the idea wasn't
Yeah,
good.
and the idea is there, and I think we have to also continue to attract more investments. So at the end of the day, it's solutions that you're providing with the economy and jobs that is created.
Maybe a media unicorn, who knows?
Hot Indonesia.
Indonesia.
More Hot Indo is ahead. A new Indonesian voice on the global stage. You're watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Hot topic number 3, international voice. She was the winner of the 9th season of The Voice of Germany on November 10th. Cirebon native Claudia Santoso blew the judges away with her cover of the Whitney Houston classic. The 19-year-old student had moved to Munich for college last year and decided to enter the TV competition. She now joins other Indonesian talent making waves overseas. You know, Whitney is not easy to sing.
No.
If you don't hit the notes, you don't hit it.
Yep.
I agree.
And you won't win.
Yeah, we've got amazing talent. Actually, this is only one of so many, Claudia, because Sandi Sandoro came from some sort of festival. Dira Sugandi also was already known.
Great jazz singer,
Yeah. A lot actually have won in international competitions or festivals, but after that they just disappeared.
And why is that?
Because the industry also in Indonesia is still unlike what we have in America,
And
for
that's what we're trying
example.
to do on this channel, actually, to promote talent,
Yes.
more Indonesian talent
And
overseas.
also maybe the genre of the music that they choose, because if you want to be big, for example, we discussed about Rich Brian and Nicki.
I hope everybody doesn't go to rap. I mean, that's
Nicki doesn't
no,
sing
but
rap.
you're saying Rich Brian. You know?
Yeah, but Nicki is also doing really well because there is this 88 Rising, also their label,
Talent agency, yeah.
talent agency and label. If we have something like that here in Indonesia, that would be really something.
Well, from the talent level purely, yes, Sandy, it shows that in this country, with all the
There
different
is no-
culture, races, I mean,
There is no shortage
we
of
got a
talents
deep
here.
bench.
Yeah,
To
deep
me,
bench.
even more so than Korea, and I'm half Korean, but I think
You are?
yes. See, we find out stuff about each other every day. Korean market well. The K-pop thing is a sensation because they all do the same thing, but they do it well.
Yeah.
Here, we got so many varieties. To me, a deeper field of talent.
I think the raw talents is here. The ecosystems is still at the nascent stage. And you got to see, on the way here, I was watching her. She had this amazing voice. And
Claudia,
I
right?
think,
You're
yeah,
talking
Claudia, she, my mom comes from Cirebon area. I feel so proud. I think if we are able to create the ecosystem and the industry, this type of Indonesian talents can reach a global scale.
Yeah.
And within short period of time, you mentioned about Grammy, you mentioned about Oscar, it's within reach. So the creative economy, the 16 subsectors of the creative economy, we all have deep bench. We have all the talents. I think it's now a calling for the stakeholders, in particular government, to create and lead to form the ecosystems, from the talent management to creating the funding sectors, because some of the creative economy players said that where can we get the funding? Because banks are not lending to us. Banks are lending only on assets.
Hard to depend on government
Yeah.
for that kind
But
of thing,
if
though.
we look back, we have Anggun, Chesasmi, Agnes Mo, but they left the country.
Yeah,
in
because
order-
the ecosystem is not here.
Yeah,
And here is so
to
competitive.
be big, they left to the.
Well, they have to go to the entertainment
Anggun
centers.
went
Correct.
to
Paris is, well, yeah,
I would-
culturally.
I would do it the other way around. I'll make Jakarta or Bandung or whatever the entertainment centers. This is the country of almost 300 million people. People should come here, and should be the center. So I think I mentioned about the ecosystems. Korea, I visited Korea in 2006 with President SBY at that time. They were still at an early stage, but the government gave all incentives.
Dude, we need venues.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
And we
hotels
Concerts
should be
hall.
hiring Indonesian artists, not overseas bands. So let's name a couple names real quick. I want to throw out names I think could be breakout. Lala Carmela, she's a great folk singer. Noah, your favorite.
Noah, yeah.
They could be big, even
Yeah.
though not in English. And Stephanie Putri, I want to mention her. Do you know her? The daughter of
Yes,
TT
Titi
DJ.
DJ. Yeah.
She's
She's already with 88 Rising
Oh,
now.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, she could be
I
an next
still,
breakout.
I still think Noah should be at least half as big as you two.
I agree. Yeah.
Noah was already taken to 5 continents
yeah.
when they were launched.
All right.
Changed from Peter Pan to Noah.
Hope we hear more from them. Okay, it's feedback time now, and we want to hear from you wherever you are in the world, watching us on TV, sitting back in your chair, your computer, or on your mobile device. Reza in Jakarta posted this comment on the YouTube page of our partner TV1. Very good discussion for young people to know what is happening in Indonesia. Well, yes, we want young people to think more about the important issues in this country and the world. And Richard in Jakarta posted this on our Hot Indonesia Facebook page. Let's get the schools to emphasize more on mindfulness of others like in Japan. Right, Richard? That's also an important lesson to learn. If you have any feedback on what you've heard or would like to suggest a topic for us to tackle, please email us at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com or comment to our Hot Indonesia or Indonesia Channel Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Final words, Sandrina?
Yeah, I would like to extend my family's deepest condolences and sympathy for the passing of Mas Jaduk Ferianto. Great loss. He will definitely be dearly missed. And he was still supposed to perform in this venue that he initiated 13 years ago, I think, Hayogya Jazz. It's to bring jazz music to the rural areas, the small villages. What we should really bear in mind right now is that the night before, he was still in a meeting and until almost midnight. And then he went home. He had a short sleep. He slept for a short period of time. Then he woke up because he was in pain and tingling sensation like the pins and needles, you know, that sensation you get after your body falls asleep. And then difficulty speaking, and he was gone. So he was only 55.
Yeah.
So whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please take care of your health. That's really important. Know to stop and take a break when you need it, and take care.
Yep. Okay, final word, Sandy.
Last week, I attended the Urban Sneaker Society.
Aha!
This is amazing. If you missed that, hopefully you could attend the next ones, whereby we see thousands of Indonesians, young Indonesians, line up to get local products, local brands. And they are not only selling good products, but they're selling experience. Some of the products have collaborations with famous, big international brands. And I am so happy with this breed of young Indonesian entrepreneurs ready to take to the world stage and offering good sneaker products from Indonesia. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, you got some good, cool sneakers on today, if they could see it. Maybe we get a shot of it after. Now, my final words. You know, we talked about Claudia Santoso winning the Voice of Germany. What is even more important, in my opinion, is Reini Wira Harikusuma winning the position of rector of the prestigious Bandung Institute of Technology. She is the first female to hold that job of one of the country's best schools, founded nearly 100 years ago. Let her now be an inspiration to other young girls. Okay, and that is Hot Indonesia for this week. For Sandrina and Sandy, I'm Dalton Tanaraka. See you next time.